Welcome everyone to Star Trek Online. I'm Takeshi Yamato, joining our host, the Housecoat Gamer.
Yo.
It's time for the last of the reskins. It's time for the Romulans.
Which are probably going to be the quickest and, well, simplest, for obvious reasons. This is already screen quality.
Yeah.
The only one that needs a little work is the Malum, and even then, that's not much.
Yeah, just a few polys. Just a few glow-ups.
The Delan and her many subtypes, with and without wings. It's
They're
more or less fine, but again, more polys.
Yeah, just give it some more details. Touch it up a bit.
Same with this thing.
Yeah.
Especially with this thing. Straighten that thing out a little bit. It looks
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
It's like it's skating.
Yeah. And its third variant.
And that's the tier 6, the Hathos, which is already pretty fine if you ask me. Just again, more polys.
Yeah, that definitely has a Riemann scimitar-esque aesthetic. Just give it some more polys and we're good.
Yeah. Textures go a long way. But that's when you have to work with limited resources, which Cryptic no longer needs to deal with. So it's high time these things got their work, got their glow-ups.
Yeah.
The Norexian class. I refuse to call it Mogai, because that is not the oldest term for this thing. In fact, the oldest term for this bloody thing is Norexian, and that comes from the trading card game. So I'm going to use it. Mogai would be a minor refit, and even then, that doesn't change anything externally.
Yeah.
Valdor.
Yeah.
Needs some work.
Yeah, the Norexian is screen quality. This needs some work. The Morigu needs work
because I'm seeing most of that being textures. I mean, just look at that. That is clearly texture.
Yeah.
And finally, we have the lower decks thing with the fin, which is only missing a notch.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom. Yeah, we like the gibble. And
won't even bother with the Didira decks, because that one's already screen quality.
Yep. This one could use some touch-ups.
Definitely. Dretrao. Another case of help me.
Yes.
Because the textures are doing most of the heavy lifting. Which,
yes.
Okay, I'll give credit where it's due. Textures do a lot of heavy lifting. Especially in older games. Credit where it's due.
But, yeah, credit where it's due. But, it's high past time you gave this thing some love.
Yeah. Textures have carried the weight. Now it's time to relieve the textures of its pain.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Arkeef and Arcala.
These all need some work. I mean, sure, in a lot of cases it does have some textures. Well, have some modeling details, but again, most of the textures are doing the work. I'm pretty sure that little vent there, that's actually texture.
Yeah. And with this one, with the Arkeef, with the Arkeef in particular, I'm definitely getting Lost Era vibes.
Yep. And this thing. Again, another case of textures do most of the work.
And again, a case of it's time to give this thing some modern detailing.
Now, this isn't to insult the people who created the texture patterns for these. Credit where it belongs.
Yes, credit where it belongs, but
It's
it was,
time.
yeah, it was fine for it. It was fine back when it was first made, but it's time these things got better models.
Indeed.
And
Now, this one's going to apply to all of them, all three variants, which, by the way, both require a. The Science Warbird needs Tier 6. Tactical Warbird, Tier 6.
yeah,
Make a bloody 4-piece console set. I don't care. I don't think anyone else is going to care either.
yeah. This thing
Apex
is,
needs work.
yeah, Apex and all of its variants and all of its components need work.
Akona goes a little bit further. Very nice, but still needs some work. This one, ironically enough, as the latest variant, actually needs the most work because I'm seeing a lot of detail being carried by the textures.
Yeah,
Now, again, this isn't to insult the modeling crew.
the textures have done a lot of work,
You're
but
restricted by computational resources. That time
you're
is
not.
over, buddy.
Yeah, that time is over. It's time to give these things the TLC they need. And the dreadnoughts. Scimitar's screen worthy at this point, I think.
It is. Tulwar definitely needs some work, since it's obviously based on the Scimitar.
Yeah,
Might as well just use that as a base and modify the model as needed.
yeah. Same with all the other variants.
The Falchion, the closest to the original Scimitar model. Again, use the Scimitar as a basis, mod as needed.
Yeah,
Of course, the Tier 6 versions definitely need some work.
yeah. The Flambard, Kopesh, and Shamshire. Yeah, those things definitely need work.
This is another case of textures carry me. Though, to be
Yeah,
fair, the textures did carry for a very long time. I actually happen to like the Shamshir. I also kind of like the Flambard. And my personal favorite is always going to be the Kelpesh.
spiky.
But again, needs some work.
Yeah, and then of course there's the legendary version.
This is, yeah. Textures carry me, please.
Yes.
Now, I'm not gonna blame you guys for essentially going lazy here.
Yeah,
It was
this
the
is.
only way to get this thing out of port as quickly as possible, but well, some of these things just don't feel right. So it needs to be done. And here we go again.
Yeah, here we go again.
Discord. Why do you hate us so?
Again, textures.
Textures do most of the heavy lifting.
Time to ease some of that burden on them.
Because those textures were made, good lord, 10 years ago?
I think so, yeah.
And they're universally applied, so again, need some work.
Yeah.
Ease the burden a little bit.
Yep. Here's the advanced version, and again, the textures are doing most of the heavy lifting.
Might as well go full shuttle here.
Yeah.
I mean, I like calling this thing the Mandalorian Warbird because, well,
Yeah.
little command sections, the visor and the nose, beak being the T.
Yeah. Yeah, that could definitely work.
It's already been done with the shuttle.
Yeah. And pilot warbirds.
All of you need work.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's some actual model detailing. Nope. That's all texture. Wow.
Yeah.
I will give credit where it is due. This thing would have been glorious in 720, but in 1080 it's starting to show.
Yeah.
It's time to introduce some, well, actual
Modern.
actual depth.
Yeah.
'Cause
Introduce modern modeling techniques.
this one has a few of those. There's some depth, but it still needs a little bit of work.
Yeah.
Then again, they like to cheat. Then again, every modeler likes to cheat. It saves time, saves money, gets everything out of the door
Yeah.
faster. Won't
Yeah.
won't won't say that it's a bad thing for a first release, but when the time comes to replace it, it's time to not
Replace it.
cheat.
Yeah. And here we go. The Vulcan Romulan hybrids.
Otherwise, the boats that make me go, why?
Yeah. Because that is an exposed singularity core. That's an exposed singularity core with a gap in the ring.
Again, this is just a major case of textures carry me. Which,
Yes.
okay, they do a job, they do it well, but it's a cheat.
And it's time.
Very much so. And this is one of the later ones that has a lot more detail, especially in
Yeah.
those deep little, I'm gonna call them radiators.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing too many straight lines here outside of where they're supposed to be straight.
Yeah.
Still, could use a little bit of glow up. I mean, sometimes later boats need it too.
Let's see. Next up looks to be the Leosa.
Yeah, it's another case of a little bit of extra detailing, but 90% of it is definitely textures are carrying the job.
Yup. And definitely mix in a little more Romulanized nebula components. Oh my word.
I have so many things to say about the Republic Miracle Worker Warbirds. Other than who is responsible for this insanity? The Tabok is the least egregious. Due to the
Yeah.
fact that the wings are actually,
Decently positioned and shaped.
this one just takes the extreme, is one of the other extremes, and another case of, you guessed
Textures. Textures. Scary me.
Well, they needed to get the boats out quickly. Must get people buying Zen.
Yeah.
And then there's the Command Warbirds. I think you're starting to sense a theme here.
Yeah. The Romulan boats are very texture heavy.
Now, to be fair, there is some detailing on some of them, but it's not some of the deep stuff like the ones you'd see on, say, the Sovereign or the Galaxy.
Yeah.
When you're looking them up close, you're just going, oh my god, this is 90% texture. Which, well,
It
textures
worked.
carry.
Yeah, textures carry. It worked when these things first came out. But it's time to give them some touch ups.
I'm seeing a lot of detail, some extra detail. This thing might not actually need all that much.
Yeah, I think this is one of the newer ones. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually decent design.
Textures are not carrying this model, except maybe in the hangar bays. That's questionable, but what can you do?
Yeah, this one's actually pretty good.
Wow, we've reached the end of the Romulan. Or have we? Actually, yeah, we have reached the end of the run. All the Romulan ships are pretty much available. I have pretty much every Romulan ship that isn't. I completely forgot about this one.
Oh? Ah, yes.
The adapted destroyers. Oh, the adapted destroyer and the battle cruiser, but I may not have the adapted battle cruiser, but this still applies to both.
Again, it's a case of is it another case of textures carry me?
Yeah, it's definitely a case of textures carry me in a lot of cases. I know there's a lot of stabby, I'm full of blade implements. Which probably gave somebody a hernia.
Yeah. But
Hopefully the
yeah.
devs, which I hope Take shares this on their Twitter feed
Uh,
or something.
I yeah, I'll
They can
I'll,
give some
I'll
answers on that.
yeah, I'll share some of I'll share these where I can. I'll see what I can do.
But yeah, this is very much a case of outside of the pointy bits, the textures do most of the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, most of these ships came out around, what, 2012, 2015 in some cases?
Yeah.
Well, the time has come.
Yeah. The time has come indeed. Let's see these things get the touch ups they need.
Obviously, Starfleet is going to be getting all of the attention first.
Discord hates us. Discord effing hates us.
This is why we don't use scripts. I have a notepad thing open with a general list of what to talk about. But because real life hates us,
We don't use actual scripts. But yeah.
gotta love improv.
Yeah. So yeah. The time has come for all these ships to get their touch ups. Obviously, the Federation has the most and will probably get the most focus, but the Klingons and Romulans need some love too.
And now for a special. And now for an honorable mention. What the? Yeah, here it is. Here's the honorable mention.
The Heavy Strike Wing Escort.
Proper name escort carrier. Whoever came up with the strike wing escort needs to be shot.
Yeah. This one definitely needs some work. textures have been carrying the day.
Well, the Tier 6 version also needs a little bit of work. I've seen it. I actually have it. Still needs
Yeah.
help. So that's the
Yeah.
Romulans, and an honorable mention.
Yep.
If anyone from Cryptic wants to contact me and speak about these things, I don't have a problem. I will give suggestions and probably be ignored. But, hey, at least I'm trying.
Yep.
In which case, let us end our pain, so Take can deal with other pain.
Yep.
And so I can deal with pain of my own. Bye-bye.